What's up guys, I'm Leg and today I'm going to be replacing the front grille on my Audi A5 convertible and then fitting a bottom splitter. So I thought I'd do a little video and show you guys just what I do, how I do it, how we're going to strip it off and what it's going to look like from the start to the finish. So guys, just here in this box here, this is my Honeycomb blacked out front grille. Now that is going to be going in here, replacing all of this, if you didn't know already. And indoors I've got splitters, side skirts, rear spats, all what, fingers crossed, if it all goes well, we'll be fitting today. Now the first thing we do is we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 Torx head bolts there, which I've got to unscrew and then get on to the rest. So let's get that done. Let's whip that out nice and quick. That's one. 2. Out nice and easy. Nice and calm. So there's our 4 Torx bolts which were in there. I'm going to put them up here, just over there on the windscreen, just there so I don't lose them. And now I've unscrewed them, this trim should pull off, I believe. There we go. It's a little bit of a jiggle. The next bolts we have to undo. As you can see here, we've got another Torx head there, real rusty one, that one, Jesus. Another one here. There should be some in the arches underneath, and there's a couple underneath the car as well. But let's start with the 2 top ones, and then we'll get down and we'll get on the rest around the bottom. There's one old rusty screw, and our other one is just here. There we go, another rusty screw.
In order to access the main bolts what hold the front bumper on, the easiest way to do that is go through the wheel arch. So inside the arch there's a plastic trim with 2 screws what hold it in place. You should then be able to pin the plastic trim back to get access onto those 2 bolts just under the headlight. I recommend turning your wheel on a full lock in order to give you more access to the wheel arch trim.
So just in this wheel arch here, you have a Torx head here and a Torx head here, and that will pull this. I'll then be able to pull this forward, and just behind here there should be some bolts. Yep. I'll unscrew that. And there's another one just up on the side, just there. Got my torch, guys. So let's pull this back out to have a look. Now in here, can you guys see in there now? So in there we should have the electrical connector to the back of the fog light, which I need to disconnect. And there should be, I believe, a Torx screw in there somewhere.
There's 2 more Torx bolts on either side just underneath the back of the headlight. It was too difficult to get the camera in to show you them, but trust me, they're there and you'll need to undo them in order to pull the bumper off. To access them you'll need an extension pole, but once you've undone them on either side, all you need to do is undo the screws attaching the trims to the bottom of the bumper.
We have this connector here. This needs disconnecting as well, so when we pull the front bumper off, we'll be able to remove this because it's going to be attached to the car otherwise, just here. So let's get that. I believe it's just a press release clip. So guys, just show you these Torx bolts under here, what we're going to be undoing. One just there, another one there, and the same this end, one there and another one just up in the corner, just over there. So that's what we're about to undo now.
There is also a couple of small bolts just over in the bottom of the wheel arches to remove. Then you're ready to remove your front bumper.
Right, there we have it. Another 2 from this side. Put them up there so we don't lose them. You ready? You got it? Okay guys, and that is our front end off. Let's put it diagonally so I don't scratch the bottom. Needs a good clean. Right. Now you can see guys, this ram bar here, this is going to be visible. So this, I've got some spray indoors. I'm going to spray this black. So I'm going to have to cover all this stuff, make sure I don't get paint on it. So we're going to paint this black, and we've got to figure out how we remove this grille from this bumper to swap it over for the new one. But bumper's off. So guys, now I'm going to clean up all this mess, all these bits of leaves and scudge and all sorts of stuff down here that on this tray. Get that all out of the way, get her nice and clean and tidy in here. I don't want any of this clogging her up. And then we'll prep this. I'll get some sandpaper, I'll give it a sand, because it's quite kind of milky, that is. Wipe her off, clean her up, spray her down, and figure out how we're gonna remove the grille. And I also have parking sensors in it as well, so we have to fit the parking sensors into the new grille, which should be fun.
I got all this potential that's deep inside of me, but they hate when you're successful cause they try to be. They sit there being judgmental because you're trying things, and they just want you to settle and do the right thing. So get a good job, don't slack off, wake up every morning, make a good impression on your boss. Don't do anything that I wouldn't do, and when you're making money, make sure you don't spend it too soon. Fuck that, I'll do what I wanna do. I got a different path from everyone, and that includes you. Who are you to tell me how to live life? In these times it feels like nobody is right, yeah. So I'ma figure out what else we succeed, and then invest all of my time into that and proceed. I need whatever the hell could make me happy, and I don't think you have a clue what could that be. They tell me that I'm never gonna make it, they want me to do something that can make sense. They hate when I keep dreaming I'll be famous, but I don't give a fuck, I'ma keep chasing. They tell me that I'm never gonna make it, they want me to do something.
Let's take you guys over here and have a look at this bumper and see where we start about removing this grille. So this is what's got to come out. There's got to be some bits somewhere here what have to come off. Let's have a look around this side. I can see lots of clips. There's lots of clips here which will probably unclip. You've got some electrics that run through here. These are to the sensors, yeah. So there we have a sensor, and we have a sensor there.
so they're going to need popping out and fitting into the new grille. I know the new grills come with some sort of surround mounts, but that's something I'll need to figure out as well. We've got a couple of Torx heads, so I'm just going to grab my tools while that's drying, and let's start undoing these Torx, which obviously hold this grill in, I think. Look at that lovely new matte black Honeycomb grill ready to go. And as I say, these are the holes where the sensors will clip in, which we need to figure out how they go in. Check it fits. Should have done that before I took it off the car, really, shouldn't I? Check it's the right part. Bruh. But it should be. It looks about right. I think she looks right. So lay her down on there. Let's start by peening this off, I guess. Yeah, today's tool of choice. Got 3 different flatheads. Should do it. There we go. So they just need a real good wiggle, these. 2 of them either side of this plastic. I'll get on this one, give it a real good wiggle. There we go, there's another one. Right. So there's the 2 little plastic bungs you have to pull out, which obviously hold this sponge in, which is like the liner for the parking sensors, as you can see here. Let's run along here. Now, I'm not going to pull the parking sensors out just yet, but there is our sponge liner, which will go back in. And just here we've got a Torx head and another Torx head. So there's 2 Torx heads what appear to be holding this grill on. There's a couple at the top, but I believe they're just holding the... Yep, so we've got a load of Torx heads to take out, guys. Go and grab them now. And let's show you before I set you up, actually. So just in here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Torx heads there, and there's 1 there, and there's also 1 there. So I believe that's all of them from what I can see at the moment. We have got a few in here which I believe holds the emblem on around this side, but I think that's all coming off, so I don't think we actually need that bit. But at the same time, this has got to clip into that, so I'm going to have to unscrew that. So there we go. Let's get on and do it. Let's get these bolts undone. Not the best weather for doing a job like this today, but we're making do, guys. We're making do. Right, guys, so I've just been to call my dad for a spare pair of hands. It's really a 2-man job, I would say. So you can see I've got the griller detached here. It's just the bottom what's clinging on with all these clips along the bottom here. These ones here. So I just need to squeeze them, but at the same time I need someone to pull it. So I've just got my dad coming. He's going to come and help, and I'm going to get him to give it a tug while I squeeze the clips. I'll put you down and let's get this grill out. So guys, as you can see, that is the grill here, but we still have these connectors in place which are for the parking sensors. Push down and wiggle off, and they're disconnected. Now we need to unplug these from the grill and fit them into the new grill, and I've got surrounds to go into the new grill, so they shouldn't be an issue. You can see this bit is sticking out much more than it needs to be, which is stopping the grill going, so I'm now having to cut these parts to make the grill fit. So I just started cutting, and typically enough
the battery died. So I've just got a new battery and let's get on with it. Let's get this done and get this grille fitted. Right, so I've got some files, I've got a bit of a selection. I couldn't make my mind up what one I wanted to use. That's not rough enough. Right guys, so as you can see, I've had to saw this all off along here. Just because the grill wouldn't fit otherwise. So if you have to do that, be very careful if you're using a jigsaw like I have, because it's very aggressive. But I've kept these structural beams. You might see them, but at the end of the day it's not the end of the world. As long as it's in and it's strong, that's all I need. So let's try and fit this grill again.
In order to fit the grille into the bumper, we've got to make sure we click in all the plastic clips and then do up all the bolts what we removed.
This is the bumper now rebuilt with the new custom grille, like so. If I bring you around this side, I'll show you where we've ran the wire. So this is the wire to the parking sensors, and as you can see just here, this is the grey clip. So in order to get these to release, you pull this clip out and then you pull them off. Now when you put them on, you put them in, you push it in like so, and then you have to push that clip back in so they're in properly, which is where they are. Now that's that step. And obviously we've got the main connector here. I've just clipped it onto there, but at some point I'll probably be moving that so we can access it, so it's a bit easier. But for the moment, that's fine there like so.
When fitting the bumper back onto the car, it's most important that you line everything back up and make sure all your electrical connectors are all plugged back in. I started by lining up the two main bolts at the top of the bunker on the front of the car. I then made my way round to the side and had to tuck in the side edges of the bumper with the wheel arch. It was a good tip to know not to put the bolts in too tight on the two fronts straight away, to allow the bumper to move around a bit to make sure I get it all lined up in place.
So guys, that's the bumper on. I now need to get the bolts on, get her all done up, put all the electrical connectors back together, and go from there really. All the bolts are up on the top, so let's get this back on and get this bottom lip on her. And the bottom one first.
Just like before, when taking it apart, we need to replace the two main bolts which are just underneath the headlight and make sure they're nice and tight, as they're the main ones holding the bumper on. And in order to access them, you've got to go through the wheel arch with an extension pole ready to do them up tight. After this, the next thing to do is do up all the bolts underneath the car what we've already undone, and then add the trims which go on under the engine bay. The next but most important thing to do is jump in the car and test all the electrics what you've unplugged, and make sure your parking sensors are all working fully functional, because we've had them apart.
Right guys, that is the front grille fitted on my new Audi A5. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hit that subscribe button and I'll catch you guys on our next one, because I'm about to do front lips, side skirts and rear spats.